In a city that never slept, a young man named Aman stood at a dusty bus stop, restless and searching for something he couldn't name. He checked his phone, then looked down the road. Somewhere ahead was a village he had never seen, his ancestral home. As the bus pulled away, the city skyline faded behind him like a life he was leaving. He rested his head against the glass, watching the concrete give way to open fields, to trees, to sky. Something in him began to breathe. Then the village road appeared. Tall trees on both sides, golden mustard fields stretching endlessly, sunlight pouring through. Aman stepped off the bus and took a slow, deep breath in the bright light. The village spread before him. Mustard fields, ancient rooftops, a banyan tree. It felt old, alive, waiting. For the first time in a long time, the restlessness in his eyes was gone. He picked up his bag and walked forward, slowly, as if he already belonged. The village well was the heart of the morning. Women gathered there with clay pots and laughter, their voices weaving through the warm, golden air. And among them was a girl, vibrant, laughing freely, her dupatta catching the breeze. She was completely at ease in her world, and her name was Mira. Aman's eyes found her, and something shifted. Time slowed. The world narrowed to her dupatta's color and light. He walked toward her, trying to look casual. He failed completely. The other women noticed and nudged Mira with knowing smiles. She turned to face him with sharp, playful eyes. He opened his mouth and found nothing. She had already won. She walked away with her clay pot, glancing back once with a half-smile. Aman stood alone by the well, looking down at the ground, still smiling. Something had changed inside him. In the days that followed, they found themselves walking the mustard fields together, talking, laughing, a careful distance between them that grew smaller each day. Aman listened to her the way he had never listened to anyone, and Mira told her stories with her whole heart, laughing at her own punchlines. They sat in the field as afternoon sun fell lower, talking quietly among yellow flowers. The world was warm and unhurried. Their hands rested close in the grass, not touching, but close. A single mustard flower lay between them. At golden hour, their silhouettes walked home together. The village festival arrived, and the temple glowed with marigold strings and the light of 100 diyas. The air smelled of flowers and incense. Mira stood at the temple entrance in deep red and gold, holding a small diya. She looked like she belonged to the light itself. Aman pulled a marigold from his pocket and walked toward her slowly, holding it out wordlessly. The gesture said everything. Mira's fingers took the flower. She looked down, then slowly up at him, and smiled. A real one, tender and true. They stood side by side in the festival glow, not yet holding hands, but close. The air between them had changed forever. At dusk, the ancient banyan tree stood at the edge of the village, its roots hanging like curtains, the sky behind it burning orange and purple. Aman sat on the stone platform beneath it, gathering himself. When Mira arrived, she slowed, curious, a little guarded. They sat in dusk silence. Aman turned to face her, his expression open, voice quiet. He told her what he felt, simple, honest words from the heart. Mira listened, looking down at her hands, then out at the fields. Surprise gave way to something softer, Then her hand moved slowly across the stone and rested over his. No words. Just this. Their eyes met, fully for the first time. The mustard fields blazed at sunset. Deep orange, pink, and gold. Aman stood at the edge, watching a world become his. Mira walked beside him, marigold still in her braid. They stood together watching the sunset. No words needed. Behind them, the road to the city stretched away. Neither looked back. Aman looked at her, calm, certain, at peace. He looked at her the way someone looks at home. She tilted her face to the light and smiled. His hand found hers. Their fingers intertwined gently in the warm sunset light. Together they walked down the village road into the golden fields, toward the banyan tree. The camera rose above the village. Fields, temple, ancient tree, road. Two figures walked into light,